Hello and welcome tonight or today, whenever you're receiving this. I wanted to come in and talk to you all about the importance of financial fluency. And regardless of the age of your child, K through 12, financial fluency is an extremely important aspect and a key skill for learning and for life. I don't know about many of you parents out there, but when I went to school, I think the closest that I came to understanding money was when we utilized money to add, which was utilizing decimal points and so on and so forth. And this is me referring to the K through 12 timeframe within my educational life. Of course, in graduate school, I learned a lot about finance and money and resources and so on and so forth. But it took me having to want to specialize in acquiring such knowledge and acquiring it at such a high level. Having an entire master's degree dedicated to finance is a very different aspect from understanding finances just to be able to manage your everyday life. And so it's important that we start to have a conversation with our young people very early on about money and resources and how they are multiplied, what the importance of savings and investing is, as well as how money works. Quite frankly, and this is no disrespect to anyone, most people don't even know how it all works, right? It's kind of like you go to work, you acquire a salary, you take that money, you pay your bills. Many people carry an outrageous amount of debt. And then on top of having those debts, we then have very minimal savings. And this is just based on, statistics here in the United States and across the globe for that matter. And so the relationship in and of itself with money isn't one that is very fluid. It's kind of like almost like a resistance because keeping money saved in savings accounts or in a money market account and not really investing it, regardless of what the vehicle of investing is, limits lifetime accumulation of wealth. And so in order to teach our young people about generational wealth and for you to actively be participating in generational wealth, it's imperative that we have open dialogues with our young people about money and resources and how to acquire said resources and how to manage money effectively, invest money effectively, and also have the aspect of protection in place. Sometimes when we learn about money, however we learn about it, it's told to us to save, 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 save. If you look at any of the images out there or the messaging that you see with regards to money, it's always a piggy bank. Let's go put money in a piggy bank. Well, if you think about it, the piggy bank in of itself is finite. It's limited because it's only but so big. Right? And even if you got a bigger one, it's only but so big. So there's always that connection to limitation, the limitation of what can be saved and stored, right? And also the access to it, if you think about it for a moment. The access to a piggy bank it's normally in your room or it's, somewhere nearby. And you can access it at any time. I'm not saying that anyone should learn the behaviors of having to separate from it in order to be able to know that you can save, but it's just the idea that it's very finite. And true wealth, true generational wealth is infinite. You can acquire as much wealth, as much property, as much security as you so choose. But if you start off your relationship with money, and there's all this underlying sense of lack, it already starts off the relationship with finances and from a negative perspective. And so some of this is what we teach our young people about. One, first and foremost, at the base, is having personal self-confidence and self-worth. right? To know that you are of value and to have confidence in that. So much confidence so that you know you are worthy of whatever it is that you deem yourself to be worthy of. And see, once you already have that self-confidence and that certain basic level of esteem, then the limits, for the most part, the bar is raised much higher than just being able to just get by. And as you know, our goal in our programs is to ensure that those who interact with our mentorship, our guidance, and the various people that we bring forth to share their insights is so that we can prepare these next generations to thrive and lead and guide our future, the future of the globe, the future of our economies. And so I know I mentioned to you all that there's a global initiative, and the global initiative started back in 2012. I'm not sure if I had the dates right before, but I know them now. With regards to the G20, which is the global, the largest global economies, they meet each year to go over what their projections should be for how the economies are working and how they're going to work together and so on and so forth. But the G20 has given permission to PISA. I don't want to get into the technical garble here, but the bottom line is they've given them guidance on the importance of financial literacy for our young people. And I, as I shared, am deeply committed to it because I think that it's important, especially when you come from the middle class or the lower middle class, or even from a family that's struggling with poverty. It's about changing the mindset and the relationship with resources and understanding that resources, the lack of them, doesn't mean that you have a lack of resourcefulness. You can always be resourceful, regardless of whether or not you have resources. And that's something that we also teach young people, is how to understand that difference. No matter how young they are, they can garner that perspective. And so, so for me, the reason why I wanted to come and talk about the importance of financial literacy is because I want our young people to have wealth consciousness, to understand and respect that lack is an illusion. And that statement, I always have to give credit to Shane Steele, because that is his quote, "Lack is an illusion," and I must give him credit because it's a beautiful, beautiful statement. That's where I got it from, at least. And it is. And it's extremely important that we share that amongst our families and to embed that into our psyche, that it is an illusion. And at any point that we make the decision to begin to become resourceful, we start laying out the map and the plan to get to a place of financial wealth and abundance. And so through our programs, we work to teach our young people how to go about doing that, how to go about understanding what it means to work, what it means to be industrious and innovative. Because when you will see if you join our program, and I probably will talk about it a little bit more here, but if you look at the life cycle of a person who works for a company and at the height of their career, when they're normally many years down the road and they're making top salaries, if you look at those numbers as opposed to creating a very strong enterprise, your numbers are much higher working for yourself. And I'm not trying to glorify entrepreneurship, but there's a lot of benefit to entrepreneurship and multiple streams of income. And these are the things that our young people from very early on should have a knowledge of, so that they can make decisions as to whether or not this works for them, or if this is something that they would like to incorporate in their lives. Because for many of us adults, it wasn't available to us. And so how do we translate that to our young people if we haven't yet mastered it ourselves? And so that's what we teach. That's what we help our young people understand. And we do it in an immersive way, in a way that gets their mind going and allowing them to take part in really understanding at a deeper, more holistic level, and afford them the opportunity to be creative and innovative, and how they might want to deliver in the future the financial and generational wealth. And so, needless to say, financial literacy is extremely, extremely important to being able to manage one's life and to be able to provide for family, provide for future, and then also just to be whole in life and not stressed, because what the number one stressor in most relationships and in life is lack of the ability to meet basic needs. And money is normally the thing that would cause someone to not be able to have food, shelter, and water, and overall safety, right? And so I just wanted to speak on that very briefly tonight, but also to share from the deepest perspective. It is important that we have our young people as fluent as possible, as early as possible in finances and becoming financially literate. And now, more so than ever, with the advancement in the area of cryptocurrencies, having that perspective as well. Because cryptocurrencies aren't going anywhere. It is not a fad. It is not a trend. There are things that need to be ironed out, and how transactions are done, and whether money laundering, which your children can learn about as well, how that plays out, and how crime is relevant in the space, and also how regulation may come into the space, and how that impacts our young people as well. Because any regulation that comes on deck is something that will be impacting them significantly from the start. So these are conversations that need to be had and lessons that need to be learned, so that our young people can be able to step into their power as they traverse, even if, if you have allowances, if understanding it from a perspective of work, or even understanding it from a perspective of speculation in the markets, to try it out. And when I say try it out, I don't mean young people, obviously, investing, but mock simulations, mock and simulated forms of investment, so young people can see what it's like, understand what risk is like, and be able to see what a candlestick looks like, and be able to monitor stocks and options for cryptos, and so just so many different things. And it's never too young to give our young people the opportunity to have perspective. And so that's what I wanted to come and share today. And of course, I wanted to share to sign up for the Boundless Kiddo Summit today. We have 3 tiers. We have the free, where you get access to the videos live between July 13th and July 15th. Certain videos will be made available each day, and after the 24-hour period, they go away. But if you purchase the bonus, which is our second tier, you'll be able to keep those videos for a lifetime. And you'll also have access to come back and meet with some of our amazing speakers, to ask them pertinent questions that have been just burning you after being able to view all of the information and insights that they've shared, and then being able to have that group Q&A, where you can come back and ask them questions and be able to be supported in that experience. That's 1. And 2, we have our Boundless Journal, and we have our Boundless Life Map, helping our young people map out their lives, and to literally plan out how they can start actualizing some of their limitless potential, and some other bonuses that we won't disclose here. And then our VIP, where we actually get into the thick of things, and we have a mastermind of young people in different tiers based on their age ranges. And they actually get to experience what it's like to, on a very high level, see what it's like to build a blockchain, which is relevant to cryptocurrencies, and relevant to contracts and so many other aspects of business and life, which is important for people to know. And there's some coding in there, some basic understanding of coding, as well as an understanding of financial literacy, being able to understand what it means to create a currency out of the clear blue sky, so to speak, or why gold is valued as opposed to cryptocurrencies, as opposed to fiat banknotes, and understanding a banknote versus fiat dollars. All of these things Our young people are prepared to understand that, and you can learn it too if there are things in there that you don't know. But that's the point. That's our VIP. So that's our 3 tiers. So sign up today for the Boundless Kiddo Summit so that you yourself and your family can become more financially literate, to understand some basic code and token creation, and to create a map for the future, to map out and reverse engineer a life plan, and to really be able to connect with our speakers, some of our speakers. And so with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I will check in again tomorrow. And I thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to connecting. Bye-bye now.